Hey everyone, welcome to Honey. This is Playlist of My Life featuring Obed Padilla, a musician and producer from Oceanside, California.
Obed, take one.
She says she loves my baby loving cause the sun to shine, and she's my sweet little thing. She my pride and joy.
Someone that young, I wouldn't expect them to be into this type of music or this genre. I would think that someone growing up around music with strong influences during their childhood like this would only be into something like this older genre or these type of artists.
Growing up, I was sheltered. My dad's a pastor, and so I wasn't really, it's not that I wasn't allowed to listen to music, but it just wasn't a thing until I got a little older. And we started going to thrift stores and pawn shops and buying records. It was like all these artists from like the 60s and 70s. And so that's what I would listen to when I got home. I'd put it on a record player and like listen to that, all these blues artists, rock, just from that era. And so that's kind of like my first memories of music.
So you were already playing at this time?
Yeah, not at first, listening, but then I started getting into instruments. And I have a pretty musical family to where instruments were always available and like encouraged. And so, yeah, I would try to play along.
I think that definitely shows in your song choices. I want to play a little bit of your second song because that's a great example also. Santana is such like a multi-layered artist, and to have this be exposed to you at such a young age, I feel like speaks a lot to your music now and who you are as an artist.
For sure. I also think being Latino, like as soon as that comes on, it's like, I don't know, you feel it and it's like, oh, damn, yeah, like I like this a lot,
Yeah.
Did you ever see his performance in Woodstock when he was like 17?
Yeah. I think I was like 12 or 13, and I had like the actual VHS of Woodstock. So I saw everybody, but yeah, his was crazy. Getting older and listening to the stories of he was on acid and like tripping out, he thought his guitar was a snake. It's so crazy.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that because for him, it was so in my mind that he was 17 that I almost used that as like a measurement. When I was like 14, I'd be like, wow, I'm almost Santana when he was in Woodstock.
Using that as a measurement of like where you're at?
Yeah.
That's tight. That was like one of the first music videos I saw. I forgot what it was on TV, but like all the 800, 900 channels, they had like all the music video channels. And I would just sit there and watch music videos. And that was like one of the first ones I remember. But I had a friend, Aaron, he was older, and he's kind of the one that put me onto a lot of that punk, rock, emo, all that stuff. And I don't know, you're at that age and you're emotional and you're going through puberty.
Especially going into pre-adolescence, we are so influenced by everything around us. But like I said, you grew up with such different type of music that it really let you see everything with a much more open mind.
And if you want these kind of dreams, it's Californication.
I mean, I know that you had like a surf and like skate phase at some point in your life. So was this something that you were listening to at the time, or was this like, this inspired you?
Yeah, that was one of the first music videos I saw.
How did you feel about the song itself?
Oh, I loved it. Like, I loved the guitar and loved how everything sounds. And it was one of the first songs I kind of learned how to play, like the little guitar riff in the beginning.
Gravity is working against me.
We were talking the other day, he's kind of an artist that everyone likes. You can't really dislike him. He's good looking, he's ventured off into a bunch of other things, very, very talented. Like, do you feel like you have that type of image where you want to be just like, everyone likes me as an artist? Or
Nah, I mean, I don't know, that feels kind of crazy. The only reason I started listening to him because this girl I liked loved him. And I was like, all right, let me get into this. But it wasn't until I got older that I realized he was a great guitar player. I didn't start getting super into his discography until I was a little older. But also like the whole versatility thing, I think that's cool too, because listening to all of his music, like no one album is the same. It always goes into a different genre or a different feeling, and I always thought that was cool to be able to maneuver that, but still sound like yourself.
And I always find something wrong. You've been putting up with my
Okay, well, there's a lot of layers to Kanye and his music. One thing that I really wanted to ask you is how you feel about separating art from an artist. Do you find it difficult to support some of them?
I mean, everybody's entitled to think whatever they want. Not that I agree with everything, like you're not gonna agree with anybody on everything, you know? But I do think he's a creative genius. I mean, he's my favorite producer, and you can't take that away from him, like everything that he's done, you know?
And for this song, you mentioned production. Was this around the time you started to do like production, or is that why you put it in this?
No, that's when I started really getting into hip hop, like listening to like Graduation and all his old albums, getting into just that whole world. That was like, I guess, my base of what I thought hip hop was.
That's a huge like standard.
Yeah. But then I started getting into like Common and Tribe Called Quest, all the people who came before, you know. And I thought it was cool too that he did all these different genres and mixed all these different sounds that shouldn't be together, but it works.
Very experimental.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it's because of artists like this you feel comfortable to just go off and venture on your own? You do a lot of producing, and so you're not just like the face of your art, you're also more behind the scenes on some other things.
Yeah. It just feels natural. Like, why would I box myself in? Especially if I have the ability to do different genres or work in different spaces.
When the lights shut off and it's my turn to settle down, my main concern, promise that you will sing about me, promise that you will.
We felt that for someone like Kendrick, something that really sticks out is his ability to storytell. That's a huge thing.
For sure.
For you, do you find that talking about yourself is easier when it's, you know, to your fans, to the public, than if it's on one-on-one?
Yeah, it's almost, I guess, like cathartic, telling a story of like, oh, this happened to me. Because I have a few songs that I've done that are kind of in that storytelling lane. But yeah, I guess, I don't know, it's definitely almost like therapy. I'm just being myself, like, it's just being real. Like, I don't have anything to hide, you know? But I guess because I'm somewhat of a private person, like my actual life outside of music, that I'm cool with putting it all out there, I guess, in music.
And he running up all the money on you. Good time is gonna be so.
Okay, well, when I saw Jamie XX on your playlist, I was like, this is awesome. I used to love the XX when I was younger. And then I put the song and I was like, wait, this is different. But I thought it was so cool just to see another artist with versatility. It definitely blew my mind. I didn't expect it, but it's stuff that I listen to.
Yeah, I think there's, I guess, a common thread between a lot of those people that I have on there, you know? Like that, you wouldn't think that Young Thug's gonna come on it. Like, it's so random.
That's so cool. Yeah, because I actually was familiar with the album visually. I've never heard it, but the XX, I mean,
Yeah, I love the XX. They're so dope.
yeah, that was like the soundtrack to like my first heartbreak. So how do you deal with being a musician and wanting to keep your first fans happy and satisfied with what got them to you in the first place, but also wanting to evolve as an artist?
I think staying true to yourself is the most important thing. Maybe I did a hip hop song, but right now I'm not doing hip hop. Like, I feel like that's just me being me, you know? Yeah, I feel like first and foremost, like, you have to like it before other people like it. So if I put something out, it's because I like it, and I think other people will too, you know?
But I think that's very obvious in your music too, that you actually like it, you enjoy it, because sometimes you see artists venture off into different things and you're like, no, this doesn't sound right, you know?
Yeah.
But because you're so genuine about it and you actually enjoy it and you're just having fun, something like, for example, Tatiana, compared to, I forgot the name of it, but it's the This Little Light of Mine one.
Oh, When in Doubt.
Yeah. Those are like two different things.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody evolves, so it's only natural that the sound would too.
I think it was cool that you put so many elements in your music right away, so then people are like, whoa.
And then if I talk to the homies about it, they're like, nah, it sounds like you. Like, there's like a common thread, even though it's all these different genres, you know? Like,
Yeah.
just being myself.
Something's missing, and that's alright, I promise. I'm gonna give it.
I didn't know this artist though, or this song. What is it about it?
I think just like the arrangement of it, the metaphors, it's just very simple but intricate, you know.
So do you think you connect to it more on a construction perspective, like building a song, versus just how it makes you feel as a listener?
I like a little bit of both. Like I feel like it just hits you. You listen to it a few times and you're like, I don't know, it's a weird feeling. I think it's just perfect the way everything, like the vocals, how the vocals sound, the guitar.
Yeah. Has a song ever made you cry first time listening to it?
Maybe not off the first time, but it might be a random time or something that it, like I listen to it, I'm like, damn.
Or at least just like some chills.
Looking sadful hours.
There's definitely music that it just reminds me of years back, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to listen to this, because it's so strongly connected to
For sure.
certain times in your life. And as time goes on, we'll remember this time in our life right now, and we'll connect it to certain songs. But I definitely think you don't have a choice over that. The memories do their own thing.
I put one of your songs in my May playlist because I know in a year I'm going to be like, oh my God, that reminds me of when we were just starting this project.
Once you know, then you know. Once you know.
So like the last year and a half, I've been super into oldies, so like Motown, Marvin Gaye, all that. And I think it's dope when artists can take something from the past and make it new and feel like it's today, but it's still nostalgic.
Yeah, I mean, Motown was known to have like incredible productions. You listen to it now, it still sounds like the original. We were just talking about how it's amazing that right now there's so many artists that sound exactly or similar to what music or certain artists sounded like, I don't know, 60 years ago. But now they're adding these modern elements.
It feels good listening to something that is sort of not of this time. I listen to a lot of Greta Van Fleet. I don't know.
Oh yeah, they're super dope.
You hear them and you're like, nah, this is Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
You know, it's just so cool to see an old style be appreciated now.
Definitely.
Even in the way that you look, there's definitely a lot of things that when I watch older movies from Mexico, they would dress a certain way, and I see Latino or like Hispanic people dressing similarly now, and I get emotional because I'm like, these were like actors I would watch when I was younger, and I'm seeing men my age dress similarly, and it's just, it's beautiful. So is there any people from the past that you like to, I guess, keep in mind?
Johnny Cash.
Johnny Cash?
It's my guy. I mean, I have him tattooed on my arm.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, like that's my guy.
Just yesterday morning, they let me know you were gone. Suzanne, the plans they made put an end to you.
Life is so short and fleeting, you just never know what's gonna happen. James Taylor wrote that song about a friend who died from a heroin overdose. And how like he was supposed to see her. Yeah, I think you just never know. So that's the whole thing.
You chose another song, so we want to know why you chose this one over the 50 Cent song that you also had.
Nah, the 57 is just like play this shit at my funeral, but
which is good, because we were wondering, like, in your funeral, what do you want? Do you want people to like cry, like, or do you want people to like celebrate?
I don't know. I haven't really thought that far. Bulls could do whatever they want.
Do whatever. Yeah, like that. I think the interview of like Freddie Mercury, where he says, like, I'll be dead, I don't care, like, deal with, like, remember me how you want, I'm not gonna be there to see it.
It was really cool to kind of just go back and think about all these different times, you know. That's why it took me so long to give it back to you guys. There's so many songs. I was like, that's why you saw me, I put like 3 in one box.
I mean, the playlist is gonna be in our Spotify, so the songs that you had to take off are gonna be there. Yeah, it was sad. Some of them I was like, damn, like, I wanted to talk about that one, but I mean, it's good. Thank you so much, really, yeah.
Thank you.
This playlist, along with some of Obed's music, will be available on Honey's Spotify link below. Thanks for watching.
These things get